Oh, sorry. Hi, it's Kathleen, and we're gonna talk about things that are good. Some favorites of the month, one could say. I've never made one of these videos before, but dire times call for monthly favorites videos, I guess. I've been sick, so I had to miss a video last week. We're still a little bit on the up and up, so you know what? I figure we could sit in or on a bed together and talk about things that we like. Things that have been tickling our fancies, specifically in the last 30 or so days. Now I know some of you might be alarmed by this setup. We've never been here before. I do in fact own 2 beds. This is the second bed. Listen, if Markiplier can own 4 ovens, I can be a woman who owns 2 beds. It's only fair and natural and right. I'm covered in dog hair. Anyways, you might be thinking, I don't want to watch a monthly favorites video. You're just gonna try and influence me to buy a bunch of materialistic crap. On the contrary, I'm gonna influence you in other ways. I'm gonna influence you to read some books. I'm gonna influence you to talk about Moogles with me, because that is the first monthly favorite we're gonna talk about. Oh, you've never heard of a Moogle? I didn't even look in the mirror before I started recording. I hope all is well. So picture this. I'm a child, an infant basically, probably 7 or so years old, and our family gets a PlayStation 1. Big deal. First game station console that really took over the illustrated household. And the very first game I can remember playing, and by playing I mean watching my older brothers play, is Final Fantasy VII. It changed my life. I sat there for hours watching Cloud and Tifa and Vincent Valentine trudge through the world, and I was in love. The music, the story, the sharp polygonal hair, and the extremely round shoulders. And in this game, I was introduced to a Moogle. It's this floating cat-like fluffy creature with a little bing bong on the head, and they act as like a messenger or sometimes a shopkeeper or a save point in a lot of Final Fantasy games, as well as the Kingdom Hearts series. You might have also met them there. And I've always loved these little guys. I even cosplayed as one once. But for some reason, they kind of faded out of my consciousness, maybe when I became a little more obsessed with kappas. If you haven't noticed, I just become very fixated on little mythical fake creatures. It's kind of my thing. Kind of forgot about them, kind of got distracted by other little critters until Gus and I started playing the Final Fantasy VII remake. And by Gus and I playing, I mean I watch him play it. Googles have been brought back into my brain space recently. My phone background is a little Valentine's Day Moogle that my girl Ms. Lippy on Instagram made. I even have a Moogle plushie that I totally forgot about and recently dug out of the depths. Hold on, let me get it. Oh, I think I have 2. Stay here, protect them. There's a good reason I forgot about these guys. When I used to work in an office in San Francisco, my desk was covered in like cute little knickknacks and little figurines, including all my Moogles. I took them all to work to show them off to my coworkers to prove how cool I am. So we got a plushie. Oh, and to finish my thought, all that stuff got packed up in a box when we got sent home in March of 2020, and I didn't get it until they shipped it to me like a couple months ago. And I've been too overwhelmed to unpack it because there's a lot of stuff. Maybe we could unpack it together. His antenna fell off. No! It's gotta be in here somewhere. Sorry about that, little guy. How could I not fall in love with these little chunky messengers? And I'm curious, do y'all have any like almost mascot characters that you love and feel attached to? Let me know down in the comments. I'm so glad Moogles are back in my life. They bring me so much joy. Are you sitting on my phone or am I sitting on my phone? Okay, for our next favorite, 180 degrees, U-turn. Let's talk about perfume. Talked about perfume recently in a little sponsored segment. I was really digging the Juliet Has a Gun Pear Ink scent. And I mean it, I'm a bit of a scent hound. I know I call you guys stinky, lovingly, of course, but I mean it in a good way. I love to stink in a good way. I love a good funky scent. I was reminded of my love for Desert Fleur by Bohemian Dreams, I believe the brand is. Oh, sorry, Bohemian Reves, which is dreams in French. This smells like my favorite candle of all time, which is Rugged Patchouli by Sensational. Very vanilla-y, very patchouli-y, but it's not a sharp scent. It's a very like warm, ambery, spiced scent. So don't think like incense or Hot Topic or Head Shop. Think like melty vanilla spiciness. Almost like if a spiced scent was a little gourmand-y. It's cool packaging too, right? I'd be super curious to try their other scents as well. Let me know if you've ever tried anything else from Bohemian Rev. I'm very curious. Okay, next we're going to talk about my favorite mark making utensil recently. as an artist, as a drawer, the texture of my pens and my pencils, the way they mark on paper, is very important to me. It fulfills me in a very specific way. So I personally love a lot of texture in my lines when I'm drawing. I want that texture, like those charcoal pencils or those wax pencils. I love the visuals of those, but I hate the sensation of using them, especially charcoal. All the worst feelings of nails on a chalkboard for me. Enter the pasta marker, which is not a marker in any way, shape, or form, outside of the fact that it literally marks on paper. It's this twist up little wax crayon, basically, but the texture of it is really smooth while still delivering a nice textured mark making experience. Comes in a lot of different colors. I really like the ergonomics of the design, like holding it feels pretty cool. It's like this rectangular shape, and you can buy refills for it. I drew this kind of gestural sketch of this guy right here using the pasta marker, and it feels right. It feels right. Highly recommend if you're a sketchbook person, try it out. Shall we talk about books? I asked y'all recently, actually while I was sick, what books you're reading. My TBR is not very extensive. My way of finding new books to read is basically to find a book that I like, and then when I finish it, there's a darkness and an emptiness inside of me that I desire to be filled with more of the same. So I basically just Google books like blank Reddit. I don't need book talk, I just need Reddit threads. Anyways, all that to say, I've been on like a fantasy sci-fi kick for years, I'll admit it. And in the last couple months, I read all of the Murderbot series. In a nutshell, Murderbot is about like a non-human cyborg that is sent on missions like in space to protect humans. They're basically robot slaves. But this specific Murderbot is more than they seem. They just want to be left alone and they just want to watch their TV. It's funny and heart-wrenching and just a delightful series to read. Anyways, I finished that and I started reading this new series called Ancillary Justice, or that's the first book. It's a trilogy. I start reading it and I'm like, this is just like Murderbot. It's about a non-human being who is slaved to be a soldier, protect humans, and through a long course of events, they're broken free from that. And then how do they navigate the world? That's very, very simplified, but as I was reading it, I was like, this is exactly my shit. So if you liked Murderbot, I think you will really like Ancillary Justice. There are certain parts that get kind of long in the tooth, especially in the first book where you're not quite sure what's going on, but just stick with it. Okay, it's worth it. And of course, another favorite of the month is how I read these books / listen to these books. Libby. We all know about Libby, right? It's the app that you can connect your free library card to get access to ebooks and audiobooks and all kinds of different stuff. It's the best. It's like Audible, but not evil. One issue with Libby, though, is that since it's connected to your library card, the books that you want are not always immediately available. Like, you have to put them on a wait list, and sometimes the wait list is like 30 weeks. Because a lot of people want to read certain books, especially if they're very popular books at the moment. But here's my secret. Do you want to know my secret? I have 2 library cards. It's allowed. It's allowed. I've got my local library card, and I also still have my San Francisco library card. And you can connect multiple library cards in the Libby app. Oh, there's something in my eyeball. So when a book is not available through one, it's usually available through the other, or the wait is a lot shorter. And if you're thinking, well, I only have one library card, I don't have access to another one. False. Lovingly false. I'll link a couple articles or videos down below that talk about this, but there are specific libraries, I think like the New York Public Library and maybe some different ones. They offer anybody around the world access to a library card. It's like a low yearly rate or something, probably pretty similar to like an Audible subscription, to have access to a much larger library. So you too can expand your horizons. Am I preaching to the choir? Do you all already know about this? If you do, that's great. I'm just gonna move on. Should we talk about video games? I know not all of you are gamers, but listen, you should be. I specifically like a couple genres of gaming. Farming sims, obviously, but I also love a visual novel / puzzle game. A point and click, if you will. And years ago, I bought the Ace Attorney trilogy on Switch. If you don't know, Ace Attorney is like a visual novel where you're a defense attorney and you have to read through these mysterious cases that are usually filled with hijinks and goofs to defend your client and save them from going to jail. There's fun little logic puzzles, you collect clues that inform other clues, and you get to slap the table and yell objection, which I won't lie is my favorite part. Anyways, I've been slowly working my way through the trilogy, and recently new games came out in the series, and I was like, I want to play those, but I still haven't finished the original trilogy. So every night before bed, I've been playing a little bit of Phoenix Wright, a little bit of Ace Attorney. And if you can't sleep, maybe you struggle with a little insomnia, maybe your sleep schedule's messed up, get cozy in bed, get your little Switch, and try to play Ace Attorney. You will be asleep in T-minus 4.5 minutes, I promise you. That isn't to say these games are boring or bad. I really like them, but it requires reading, it requires a little bit of logic thinking. Some nights I literally get 30 seconds in and I'm like, well, I'm gonna call it. And speaking of the Switch and gaming in general, I love a PC game. I love a computer game. But how dare you expect me to sit in front of my computer all day working, and then when I want to play a PC game, I have to sit in front of my computer more? That's gonna be a no from me. But girl's got a game, so what do I do? Well, I recently discovered that through the Microsoft Game Pass, which is like a monthly subscription where you can download a bunch of games and play them. I highly recommend it. It's great. There's now cloud streaming, which allows you to stream the games that you would play sitting at your computer on your PC to another device, like an iPad. So you can get all cozied up in bed, get horizontal, and I can play the games that I could previously only play while chained to my computer. It's the best. Is it a perfect user experience? No, it's a little bit laggy. But for the games I'm trying to play, like the little point and click adventures, specifically Monkey Island, it's great. It's perfect. I love my life. Now I'm gonna hit my last few on my list quickly. That's because I feel like I've been talking a lot and we still need to talk about your monthly favorites. That's right. I asked y'all on Instagram what you've been loving recently, and I'm not gonna lie, I literally cried reading your submissions because they were so sweet and wholesome, and I just love you guys. Anyways, let me finish my list first. I've been loving a good charm recently, like a charm to put on your jewelry. Very good. One of my most favorites is OK_____fine. I think it's 4 underscores on Instagram, aka Kylie. She's basically a charm influencer, a vintage charm collector who shares her collections for all of us to drool over. I would love to make a video soon about kind of collecting some vintage charms and then putting them together in a couple custom pieces, because that's something that I just want to do anyways, so I thought I might as well share it with y'all. Let me know if that sounds interesting to you. Okay, speaking of Instagram, another creator that has been catching my eye recently is Marinated Clouds on Instagram. At this giant knife, this giant art object that looks like it's made of maybe like vinyl, that it just makes me it makes me happy. There's something about a small object blown up to 100 times its normal size that just really gets me going, and I think you can probably feel the same way. I need to stop. We need to move on. Marinated Clouds, everybody. And the last thing on my list of favorites is a wholesome one. We've had some crazy weather over here in Ohio. Surprise, surprise. We recently had a snowstorm. We recently had a 70-degree day. It's a lawless void. But you know what's also happening? The spring flowers are popping up. They're starting to peek their little buds over the soil, and they're saying, is it safe to come out yet? And I'm like, I don't know, you guys. You might want to wait. But we've got daffodils. We've got these sweet little white guys that I don't know what they're called, but I'm just gonna call them a snowdrop because that feels right, and you can correct me. And then we got some crocuses, some croci in my yard. I also don't know if those are crocuses for sure, but that feels right. After enduring the winter blues, there's really nothing like a little bit of color in your yard to boost your mood. All right, it's time. Let's talk about your monthly favorites really quick. Let me pull them up. So I asked specifically, what have you been loving recently? It could be a book, a video, a person, a smell, a thing, an idea, a moment, a love, a dream, a loud, a kiss, a cry, a rights, a wrongs. And I got a lot of responses. Justine says, preparing for my first exhibition. I hope it went really well. Rosker says, breathing through my nose after a cold. Too real. Sue says, I'm doing a musical and it's coming together so well and I'm just so excited. That's amazing. I wonder if you've already performed it. If so, hope it went well. Hope you broke both legs. Bryce says, afternoon light pouring in while I have a cup of tea. Swamp Angel says, kissing my girlfriend. Somebody says, the Murderbot Diaries. We were just talking about A lot of people are saying Saltburn, which is interesting. Mad says, my light blue pin that has a glitter tube and a pom-pom on the top. That's the spice of life right there. My 5-month-old puppy Skrunkly. I got my own Skrunkly right here. Marianne says, free will. I've come to the realization this month that I have control of my life and future. You do. Grab it by the throat. My autistic brain, mwah, give it a kiss for me. Writing Naruto fanfic specifically about Kakashi. Don't listen. Don't listen to them. You heard nothing. We got strength training. We got Burt's Bees tinted chapstick. We got quesadillas guacamole. And there's a lot in here too that are seemingly a little personal and very sweet. And I just want you to know that I see you, I love you. And I hope this month brings you even more favorites. You want to know one of my favorites that I just realized and remembered? When my dog sleeps on a pillow like a human. I think that's it for now. I've been recording, oh god, 52 minutes. So while I edit this, blessings, I want to hear from y'all. I love hearing from my friends what they've been getting into. Weird little interests and hobbies. Can you sense it's time to stop filming? And let me know down in the comments. It could be something simple. It could be something specific. It could be something you're not loving. Give me some anti-favorites. Thanks for trying out a new video format with me this week. Thanks for being patient while I take a little time to heal and not be sick anymore. And I just hope you're taking care of yourself, because I know things are tough in the world, to say the least. And I hope we can get through this together. I love ya. You're very stinky. Goodbye.